Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. So yesterday I did a Q&A video, which is get to know me, and I feel like it went really well. And this morning I got a few more questions through my letterbox, but most of them seem to be motherhood related. So I thought, why not do a video just on my experience as a young mother, and maybe I can answer most of the questions that you sent me. There's nothing in this world that can prepare you for motherhood. Motherhood is a whole different ball game. No matter what age you are, you can be 30, you can be 40, you can be 60, you can be 19. No matter what age you are, nothing in the world will prepare you for motherhood. And that's where I was a bit naive, because when I was younger I was like, okay, so I've done the course. I did a level 3 childcare and education course in college, and I worked from birth to 11 years, and I thought, right, I've got the knowledge down, check. I've got the experience down, check. I am so ready to be a mother. No, none of that can help you when it comes to being a mother. Not even the antenatal classes can help you. They can help you with what to expect for labor, learning how to swaddle your baby, what nappies and everything else. But for the experience and the journey during labor, like after you bring that baby home, how are you going to deal with that situation? Because you don't really know what your baby's going to be like. I thought Maximus was going to be a lovely, quiet baby like his father. I thought he was just going to lay there and, maybe once in a while when he's hungry, just a little... It wasn't like that. Maximus was a screamer, and that was a shock to my system. He was a screamer. I did not know what to do. Like, how do you prepare yourself for a screamer? Like, he wasn't expecting a screamer, but you got a screamer. How do you prepare for yourself in that situation when you're so tired, you haven't had any sleep, you're round the clock a feeding machine for a baby? You have to look after them, change them, burp them, everything, be there for them. When you're physically, emotionally, mentally, you're just drained. How do you cope with the situation? It was a lesson that I learned, and you have to be very, very strong. To be honest with you, I can see how so many people can get into depression, postpartum depression, because every day with a child that screams continuously, no matter what you do, a lack of sleep, lack of interactions with like people your age, just it's so much. And that's why I'm saying that nothing in the world can prepare you. You just have to be a very, very strong person. Like with Maximus, the first 2 days we got him home, he was fine. The third day, like, I was healing from my cesarean, because we had emergency cesarean. The birthing was all good. Water birth was fine. I was on the ball, bouncing up and down, gas and air, calling everyone, laughing. I was literally high the whole time from gas and air. And my water actually didn't break. The lady had to break my water, which was the most painful part of the whole pregnancy, by the way. Like, that was just the worst part ever. So she had to break my water, and I was in the pool, gas and air, feeling fine. And then he just, like, I was 7 centimeters dilated. Something happened that I don't know what happened, but between that, it got a bit hazy. We had to do an emergency cesarean because the cord was wrapped around his neck and he was like not breathing properly, so we had to rush into the emergency area. I had a cesarean. I was out of it. Like, I did not know where I was paralyzed. So that experience in itself of having a child is already like taking so much out of you, and then you have to go home and look after this person and heal at the same time. It's it's something. It's like literally something. It's something else. Like nothing can prepare you for that kind of experience. There were days where like everyone would go to work and I'll be at home and I'll have like a whole week of Maxima just screaming flat out, no matter what I did, followed by the book, followed by experience, followed by advice. No matter what I did, Maximus was just a screamer. Like that's just who he was. It's like nothing couldn't stop him from being a screamer. It took a lot out of me, and I had to really pull myself away from that cycle of like I'm gonna go into depression. I did not allow myself to go there. I took him out. I kept busy. I kept my mind off it. I had to remind myself, because before having Maximus, we told people that our family, close family and friends, that we were expecting a baby. Everyone's like, oh, that's it, yeah, her life is over, that's it, she's not, that's just, her life is just done, packed, gone, everything's gone. So that made me motivated to prove them wrong, because it's like, yeah, I get it, like there are other people around me who's been through this of having a baby, and maybe whatever their life turned out to be isn't what they expected, but don't write me off. Like, come on guys, have faith in me, don't write me off. But I felt like they wrote me off, and that in itself gave me motivation to say, do you know what, forget that. Forget what you just said to me. I am not going to let this be my reality. Just because I'm having a baby at a very young age doesn't mean my life is over. Like, during that was the only thing that got me that was one of the things that got me going through pregnancy. That was one of the things that stopped me from going through that depression, of that postpartum depression. Also having Maximus, it's like you have to look at the child that you just have. You've just had this most amazing child with the most amazing experience, and he did not give up on me. Maximus did not give up on me. With a cord wrapped around his neck, he did not give up on me. He fought to be alive. So I am going to do the best as a mother to fight to give him the best life for both of us. So that was what kept me going through young mother, because I'm going to do the best I could for this young child who did not choose to have me as a parent, did not choose to have us as a parent, but yet he has us. So the best thing we can do for him as parents, or even as a young mom, is to not give up on him and to not go through that depression stage feeling sorry for myself. Because when you're a parent, there's no time to be selfish. You cannot be selfish. I don't know how many times I've said this. You cannot be selfish. If you want to cry, fine, take yourself to the room and cry, but do not be selfish and give up on that child who needs you. You know, there are times where I'll just, if those days where he's just screaming, there's nothing I can do, I'll leave him. As long as I know I've fed him, I've changed him, I've given him all the care that I could as a child that you should give a child. If he's gonna scream, I'll just leave him in his cot, leave him in his room, take it, even go to the next room, either have a tea, have something to drink, calm down, come back to it. Or if I need to cry, I go cry. I will cry my eyes out, come back and be a mum. For me as a person, there is no way that I am gonna let this child down. Okay, like that is what kept me going, knowing that I wasn't gonna let him down. Yeah, like being a young mother or being a mother itself, you can never win. There's never a win-win situation. It's you basically have to do what is best for you, what is best for your child and your family. So for example, when we had Maximus, we've newly moved into our house. So we had this new baby that we had to finance. Then we had a house that we had to furnish, because when we got the house, it was a non-furnished house. So we had to buy so many new things, and then that made our financial situation worse. So then after my maternity was over, my husband and I spoke. We're like, okay, so we both have to go to work, and so I had to go back to work because we needed to finance ourselves, you know. And you don't want to just live you don't want to just scrape by, you know, with the next wage. You want to have a comfortable wage where you're able to do the things you want to do, buy the things you want to buy, and look after your child. So we're like, okay, so right now this is what our situation is. We both have to go to work. So when I chose to go back to work, it was a hard decision, and it had to be done. And to be honest, I love working. I do love working, and I also like being a parent, and I'm not going to feel guilty for saying I actually was looking forward to going to work, because I needed to have something. Like Maximus again was another motivation for me to go to work, knowing that although I'm at work, I'm able to provide all the things I can for my child, if that makes sense. So for me, going back to work it wasn't like a bad deal. But then at the same time, I felt so guilty for going back to work, because it's like, you can never win. Once you're back to work, oh, she's going back to work, why is she not being a mother, blah 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 blah. And then if you don't go to work, oh, she's just at home looking after a baby, look what her life turns out into. So either way, you're not going to win. So I had both of those situations facing me. So I had to say, you know what, you have to cancel out everyone and do what's best for you. So I decided to go back to work, and that was what was best for me. And to be honest, it was the hardest time ever for both of us, Edwin and myself. It was the hardest time. I would wake up, I would do the night feed, because at that time I wasn't expressing yet. So I would do the night feed, and then I'll have to wake up early. So that is like 0 hours sleep, because you're waking 3-4 times in the night to do the night feed. Then you have to wake up around 5 in the morning, dress the newborn baby, pack his bags, make sure everything he needs for nursery or for the grandparents, it's all packed. Then you have to take the train to the next town, which was in Chatham. Nursery was in Chatham at that time as well. So take that train to drop him off either at the grandparents or at nursery, and then take the train back, come to work. After work, you're working with preschool children, so that is a lot of running around, a lot of you need so much energy when you're working with children. You need so much energy, you just need to be you need so much buzz in that sense. And then after doing all that, you bring a whole chunk of workload with you, so you're carrying that. Then you're going to rush off to pick up your son, either from the nannies or the grandparents, bring him home, make sure there's food in the house, make sure that you get the work done, because you have at that time I had 11 key children that I had to fill in their paperwork. And that was just a cycle, Monday to Friday, the same situation every time. It got a lot. I right now I'm sitting here, I don't know how I did it, I don't know how we did it, but somehow we did it. It was a lot, for a young person, and that is a lot, because usually somewhere around the age of 21, 22, 19, age that you're meant to be selfish, and you're here with a young child, being responsible and taking care of his life, and you've got so much responsibility as a young person. But do you know what, those days made me strong. They really it will toughen you up to a whole nother level. It really will toughen you up to a whole nother level. There's no other way to do it. So that was the hardest part, and that was the toughest part of motherhood. Like I said earlier on, no one prepares you for this situation. You just really have to have a strong person by your side, and luckily I had Edwin to help me in that sense. So you really have to it takes two to look after a child, and even with two, we as parents had to learn not only how to be parents, but how to be parents and be together as a couple, because there's so much elements thrown at you, having to deal with each other's parenting styles and supporting each other and teaching each other how to deal with this young person. It's just so much thrown at you that you have to learn in a short space of time, that the relationship itself, it's out of the window. So when it was about you two, it's not anymore about you two, it's about this one child. And for you two, you have to learn how to deal with this one child. It's not easy, and I am so in awe, and I have so much respect and admiration for single mothers. I'm just if I had childcare, if I had Edwin and I'm parents, how is it for those single moms who do it on their own? I have so much respect for you out there. It's not an easy thing. You know, it's not, you have to really be a strong person, and in a sense, like, yeah, you really have to be a strong person to go through that, because to go through all that we've went through, now sitting here today, when he, at the age of 2, he's 2 right now, and thinking about 2 years ago where we were, I don't know how we did it. It was a right struggle, because I went from being a stay-at-home mum to going back to work to being a stay-at-home mum again, because it just got too much for the grandparents, that's for them as well. And then also having to pay nursery fee, which was like 1,000 something every month just to look after a baby. So basically we're just going to work for them to pay, we're just going to work to pay for nursery fee. And I'm thinking, why am I looking after other people's children when I can look after my own child, you know? So then I started exploring different avenues of, maybe I could do like a part-time work or be a childminder and whatnot, and it's just having to work something out. So it's a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster. Like, nothing can prepare you, and I can honestly say you do get confident with time. I'm going to talk about the positive aspects of being a young mother, because I feel like I've given you some of the struggles that we've had, but also being a young mother is so empowering. You literally do feel like superwoman, because you're juggling so many things as a young mother. You're juggling being a mother, you're juggling working, you're juggling having a family life and working towards a career. Like, it's so empowering, and I would honestly not have it any other way. Like, it's just absolutely amazing. It's like, because the thing is, once you're a parent, your mindset changes, because you're thinking about, okay, so it's not about me anymore. Let me take a back seat. Now it's about my child. What am I gonna do to make my child's life better? So then, with that, your career aspect and your financial mindset changes. So you have this focus. Okay, I know what I want to do. Why am I doing this? I'm doing this for my child. I want him to have a better life, a better career, a better education. So in that sense, it focuses you into like what you want to achieve in life, what you want to get out of life. You've got that motivation standing in front of you every single day. And it's such a powerful motivation to have. Like, it's so empowering to know that I have this motivation right in front of me that we created, you know, to motivate me every day. There is nothing better than that, because it's like you're on a different level. It's a whole different level. It's a whole different type of world, because it's like, one, I have the strongest motivation in my life, and he just pushes me. There's days I don't want to get out of bed. There's days I don't want to go to work. There's days I don't want to do uni. There's days I don't want to do anything. But then I look at him and I'm just like, no, this child is watching me. He is watching me. He is looking at me. What is mommy doing? How is mommy doing it? Like, he is my biggest motivation ever. In everything I do it for him. Like, going to uni, he pushed me. After having, I was like, yeah, this year I have to go to uni. I have to give him something to be proud of, to say. Even with my career, like, guys, I don't know how to explain it to you, but you have, like, he is the biggest motivation, you know. And the second thing is, I've gained so much confidence in myself as a person, as a woman, as a young mother, and in what my life is going to turn out as, because I've I know that I've overcome that part of my life, where it's bringing up this child from birth, going through labor, going through pregnancy, because that is a whole nother ball game. Giving birth, that was a whole nother experience. Going through the stages of having a young infant, and then going through colic, teething, all those stages that just there's just so much a learning curve. Like, you have people who have had so many had years of experience but giving you their advice, and sometimes it's okay not to take it. I've learned to trust my instinct as a mother and as a parent. I've learned it's okay to do things your own way. Like, I'm not gonna force my child. Let's say with milk, there was this, and like most of the doctors or mothers are like, oh yeah, I stopped giving my child milk when he was like 12 months or something. I still give Maximus milk. If he needs it, I'm gonna give it to him. Like, sometimes you just have to do things that's best for you and your child. And also, I've learned to love myself and accept my body the way it is. It's so it's just, yeah, I've learned, like, motherhood has taught me to love myself, to accept my body the way it is, and I've never felt more happy in my skin and in myself than right now after having Maximus. Like, that was a time where I was like, I don't care about the stretch. Like, before having Maximus, I was so self-conscious, but now I just don't care. I just embrace every inch of myself, you know. I don't know, it's amazing. Like, I've just learned to love my stretch marks. I've learned to love the marks on my face and whatever. I've learned to love myself the way I am, and it's just so empowering. Motherhood, like, the rewards of motherhood, it's ridiculous. Nothing in the world can replace what motherhood gives you. A small smile from my child, or a hug from him, can work so much magic that it's ridiculous, you know. Like, there's nothing in the world more precious than what motherhood gives you. Yes, you have so many days where you just want to bang your head up against the wall and be like, why? But those little moments that you have, that your child gives you, is the most amazing feeling ever, and I would never replace that. There's nothing in the world that can ever, like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I'll be sitting, like, let me give you an example. So I'll be sitting in the kitchen and probably doing my uni work or typing or doing something on the blogging, and Maximus will come in. Like, he loves checking up on me. If he hasn't seen mummy come into the sitting room for a while, he'll pop his head through the kitchen door and make sure I'm okay, and then he'll just give me a hug. And that is the most precious thing in the world, and nothing in the world can ever compare to that. It's so rewarding. Like, I can't explain to you how magical it is. It's magical, guys. Another thing is, like, also like, balancing life, and like, there are times where I do feel guilty. I really do feel guilty. Even going to work, I feel guilty because I see him and he knows, he has this, I register it. He has this look on his face. He knows, okay, mummy's all dressed up, so she's gonna go away. I won't see her probably till nighttime. Or if I'm blogging or doing uni work, I feel so guilty because there's this look on his face. Like, it's the most guilty feeling in the world. But the thing is, you have to learn how to manage your time, and I feel like the older I get, the more I'm learning how to manage my time, because I know that the weekends are for my family. Therefore, my family, spend time with them, do all the things I want to do with them. If I'm off or working away from work or working at home, I have learned to manage my time. So I was okay, so I'll do few hours on the mornings are for Maximus. The mornings are reserved for him. Always mornings reserved for Maximus. Afternoon are then for, like, either blogging or uni, and those times where he's having his naps or he's outside playing with his dad, I catch those snippet moments to do, like, some uni or some blogging or some Instagramming, all the things I have to do. So it's basically all about learning how to manage your time, and I feel like with more, you just tend to get better at it. But then the feeling of feeling guilty is never going to go away, but you just have to remember who you're doing it for. I'm doing it for him, so then it makes it a lot more easier, but it makes it a bit more easier. But the feeling of guilt as a mother never goes away. It doesn't even matter. It's even if you buy, like, say before Maximus, I'd be buying so many pairs of shoes or so many pairs of clothes. But now if I'm thinking about it, like if I go to a shop, I'm like, do I want it? Or can, like, you know, like your child just pops into your head. It's like those little sacrifices that you have to make that you wouldn't make when you're childless, to be honest, because you only got yourself to deal with. But when you have a child, there's those little moments where you're like, oh, can't be selfish, you know. So so you have to do, it's just so there is like this thing where people think, I'll say, you also tend to enjoy life. Like, I enjoy life so much more. I wasn't always the partying type. Like, I done all those things pretty early in my age anyways. Like, during secondary school, I partied, like, and then once you do attend those parties, it's like there's nothing special. They're all the same thing. So your perspective and the things that you enjoy changes with life. Like, as when you become a mother, like, I honestly enjoy, like, staying at home with him, watching Peppa Pig, or going to the park. Like, that is my life, and I like it, and I wouldn't want to be like, I don't miss the things that 20 something other girls my age would do, because to be honest, I still get to do them. Like, I meet my friends once in a while when I have a chance to, like, go to the bar or to dress up or travel. Like, I still do that. You still enjoy your life. It's how you plan it, and it's how you plan it, because it's how you plan it. From my experience, motherhood hasn't stopped me from doing what I want to do. It's just how you look at life, your perspective on life, and really, it's just basically a perspective on life and what you want to get out of it.
You're my cup of tea, and I really want to be in your company. Any good thing coming is gonna come to me when I pop in your dungarees. And again, 20, you know, undefeated. The bat is so big, my squad don't believe it, and haters gonna dislike. Drizzy like Chris, like tripping, this is sick life. Now I'm singing this like, oh,